Hi, welcome everybody. And today's session is about how to think like a vice president. Why I say so? Because I have been for 15 years. I have been a project manager, always reporting to a vice president in my organization. So previously, also as a senior programmer, I always reported to a project manager or a vice president at the same time. So it was multiple reporting. So what was that they were doing more which I was not doing. So that is the initially when I started my career, I was bothered about that. Most of you might be thinking, and that might be the challenge as well. Like say that is a attitudinal problem maybe. But what does the vice president does extra, which you don't do? In fact, he doesn't do anything extra than you. Maybe he is doing very less, but there is a secret to it. What he does, why his portfolio is so important, and what he does, which is so important for the company, which you can't do, right? So that has been the questions, and most of my clients also think like that. It is not up to the level of vice president, actually the next level of promotion. Why it is not happening? And they crib about this, which is why I have this course as to how to ensure that you are getting promoted next. And if you are due for a promotion, how do you ensure that you are getting promoted? The most important thing that comes to my mind, which is very obvious and many of you don't kind of take into account, is, do you behave like a vice president? Do you behave like a senior? Do you behave like the next person as promoted? As when your promotion happens, you become a senior, right? Are you behaving like that? Some people you know some people in the initial stages, because I also work for this upcoming team leads. So upcoming team leads are fairly very junior people, and these people, when they lose a promotion, they get the incentive regularly, but what they lose is the promotion. Why? And when I ask them, um, would you do this, if you can you come to this course, and then they say that they have to take permission of their seniors at home to come to this course. So if coming to a personal development course, if they cannot decide whether they can come to this course or not, or invest in their personal growth, it is like buying a book, right? If you require a permission of your family members, your seniors, your elders, to invest in your personal development, then what kind of leader you are? I'm not saying to invest here, but you do. It is a foregone conclusion, right? If you are investing in your growth, who will refuse not to do that? Will somebody say that it is a waste of money? No, right? And if you are not able to take that decision, if you don't have that conviction to tell your parents or elders that this is very essential for your growth, then that is the first indicator that you are not going to get promoted. Now what I'm saying is something else. So that is where you can start. But I'm trying to tell the very mature kind of people also, who are into 6 to 7 years of experience, and they have grown to very senior level, and now they are getting uh, they are reporting to vice president level. Now how how can they get promoted? Um, because the vice president needs to see them as very responsible people, right? So that is from the vice president perspective. But what will be your perspective? If you get promoted, will you help the vice president do more job? Let us see what does a VP do in a day. So what does a VP do in a day? You might be seeing that the VP calls the secretary every half an hour, summons the manager for the update in the reports, inquires from the sales head about the latest deals, find out if the latest orientation induction was done, talks to the chairman about once in 2 days. For about like the seven, if the working day is for 8 hours, then for 7.5 hours in a day, he seems to be busy on the phone. So, can the project manager afford to do the same? So, if you are a project manager, can you do the same? Can you do the same, like say calling your juniors and spending time here there, and like taking stock of things and doing few things and then all the time busy in the phone? Can you do? Now why not? Why can't you do? Here is a question: what is the percentage of the happiness moments? So let us forget about the work for a few minutes, and let me ask you, forget about what the VP does and what you are thinking about him. What about your work? Percentage are you happy? So let us see, how do you define happiness at work? So have you at all thought about happiness at work? Work will be, like say, work will also be play. Have you thought about this? So if you have thought, then you will know what I'm talking about. What is happiness at work? If Do you love your work, whatever you are doing? Do you love strategy? So everybody at different levels, even if you are not at the VP levels, even if you are at project manager level, still you need to do some strategy. Do you love strategy? Because people say the people who do strategy, they don't have much work to do. It is only the talking over the phone and uh, summoning this people, that people, and taking stock is the only thing you do in strategy. VP, a vice president, does that only, right? And how much time do you spend in planning? You know, a mature person, a mature project manager will be a person who spends a lot of time in planning. How much time do you spend? Do you plan ABC? This is the risk management factor. If suppose plan A doesn't succeed, then do you have plan B, plan C? How do you resolve ambiguity? Do you get overwhelmed with ambiguity? People, senior people saying something, one senior says something, the other senior person says something. Do you get overwhelmed with that? And this is the same thing. Are you allowed to make mistakes at your workplace? And do you repeat mistakes? That will depend whether you will be allowed to do mistakes or not. And what fears and apprehensions do you have? So if you can write down all this, what do you say? Say 1 to 10 scale, how do you rate yourself? So these are, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 questions. So it will be like, say, 80. Out of 80, how much have you scored? So if you have scored like say 40, 50%, then you are break even. You are neither happy nor bored with your work profile. But if you are anything beyond 40, then you have a chance to love your job, and you might have happiness moments as well, right? So that is the thing. This, please take this exercise and find out whether you are scoring more than 50%, right? Happiness, why I'm talking about happiness is, happiness leads to more engaged in work. The more happier you are at work, more you put your effort. No, you love doing whatever whatever work you have been assigned. That is why you spend more time on that. So Now the if then model of happiness. Generally, generally what? Generally we are happy in the wrong way. Why? We have learned to be unhappy because if this thing happens, then I'll be happy. If I get a raise, I'll be happy. If I am promoted, I'll be happy. So this is the if then model. So here basically whatever it is whatever. No. So first accept whatever is there, and you then can think of no uh, think of changing that. So whatever you already have, like said, you are in a position of project manager, and whatever you have in personal life or professional life, already you have, right? So enjoy that first, right? And then, if the vice president, why you are thinking of vice president at all? Why vice president as a project manager? There are two things. He either irritates you, or you are ambitious, you want to get to the position of vice president. Although I haven't seen many who aspire to be vice president being project manager at this stage. Many people are not ambitious, they don't see their career graph to that high. But a vice president is not far away, he is just 2 or 3 level up from a project manager. Do you realize that? So if he doesn't bother, and if you are very particular about your career and your growth path, then you don't have to bother. But if he irritates you, then you need to know, like say, can you talk to him one to one? If something that you think that it is you are overburdened, can you hand him over, ask for help, or ask him to do some of your work? Can you do that? And you will be surprised to see that whoever asks, whoever has that conviction to ask for help, is the first person who is very likely to get promoted. Have you, did you know that? Know this? This is a surprise question, surprise thing, because we don't ask for help thinking that it will be rendered as our weakness, and we don't ask for help. But this is the first thing that you need to ask. And why you have asked? Because you just realize that what his job is. So now how much can you be in control? You always get what you need. What you need may not be what you wanted, but that is required for your growth. This is what the universal law is. Now ask yourself a question. Do you want to grow to the level of PP? So you or something else, right? In something else means, are you looking to switch over a job, or trying to start something of your own, right? Maybe you want, here is an exercise to know that you are important. Do a reverse gap auditing. Reverse gap auditing is, in the last 5 years, how what have you done, how much you have grown. That is the reverse gap auditing. So instead of looking forward as to what you don't have, you look backward to see what you already have. So that will give you that you have grown actually. You have grown from one level to another. You have reached this stage, right? And this will also give you some insight about whether you want to have few more skill, right? So if whether you want to be a VP, you want to do reverse auditing, you want to know your state of affairs, you please come to my community of change makers by clicking here, right? If you click here, what you will get is, you will learn about 10 aspects. Like say first, though, you will get to leadership position, along with your leadership growth, because you have started learning, you will start learning about how to grow your leadership aspect. You will get to a leadership position soon. That will also bring recognition at workplace. That will establish you to be a versatile person at workplace. How to be versatile, because once you learn HR, you will learn finances also. You will learn some of the logistics also. These will this will only grow the depth of knowledge that you have. Then that will build your credibility, because at one time you are able to solve so many questions. Apart from your own portfolio, you are trying to help, because you will not be able to transition from HR, you will not be able to transition to finance that easily in every company. In every company it is not possible, but you can always lend a helping hand to a colleague in the other vertical, right? Then you integrate that experience. If you integrate all of those experience, what you will become? You will come to the CXO or the CEO level. Do you realize that? So that will be at a later stage. If you have that goal in mind to become a CEO, so that you can control the organization mechanism to contribute more to the world, then this will be an appropriate way forward for you to take up. Then you have to work on yourself. It is not about work alone. You have to have your mindset working. That is what you will learn here. How to increase your emotional intelligence, right? Adversity quotient, so that you can be much more resilience towards all the upcoming responsibilities those are coming up. Overcoming lowness, most of us time some time or other uh, become kind of depressed, right? So how to overcome that? And processes versus result, which is 80% process and 20% result, and this requires continuous upgrade. And how to recognize that? Then communication etiquette. So many huge problems get resolved with better communication. So one of my student was writing emails. The day she writes email, she takes the entire day. So I told her to write two-liner emails immediately and shoot that off. That will clear lot of communication problem, and it will also establish her image as somebody who whose priority is to have clarity at every level and to bring everybody to the same page, right? So along with that, there will be 15 weekly classes with one specific outcome: a Facebook community to interact and have accountability, weekly individual one-to-one call. And those of you a want to have a dream job of your own, then published or unpublished, you can have this support as well. The level of support that I give at a granular level is this: one of the batch that I had recently has these milestones for them, and they cleared these 34 were their outcomes. So whichever batch you register into, that batch will list out their problems, and those will be the outcome towards which we will work along with the course material. See, the basic problem is the same every stage. Everybody has a dream, everybody aspires to grow. So but the problems will be different, and depending upon the personality type, everybody will have a different kind of problem, right? And those of you who want will also uh, learn content marketing. Some of will learn about email marketing. If you want to write a book, then this support also can be extended. Content research we can do. Funnel design technique using ClickFunnel can be taught. Facebook ad campaign, if you want to grow in the digital field, this can be a psychometric, this can be an additional skill. And if you want to have your psychometric test just for the sake of knowing your attitude, that can also be extended. Copywriting means you can write for everybody. People are looking for no very persuasive copy. So this is a skill which results in lot of reading. So here in my community we do a lot of reading, right? So what you can do is reading and dissemination at the same time. So you can learn this copywriting, and all my mentors, they are very good copywriters. So I can bring those skills to you also. So these will be all that I'll be bringing in towards the training. So, how do you find this session? So, if you are thinking like a VP, so right now I'm the vice president at a microfinance institution, and I have already offline trained 18,000 people and executed, like, say, five big projects impacting 1 crore lives already. So, if I want to extend this kind of training to people, then I need to go the online way, because offline it is not very possible, right? So that is my mission is to impact 1 billion lives in 139 countries with a $50 billion enterprise. That is a huge audacious goal, and that has come with intuition. So that is why I am fixed about that goal, and whether I succeed in doing or not, at least I'll do something, and my growth, my path is decided with this, that I'll be working towards this. So at least I have a path towards which I will be moving. So this will be the advantage in this community, of which you can take, you can be part of, and you can grow in the same line. Hope this helps, and please mention your takeaways here. Thank you, and please remember to register at the same thing, right? At the link I'll be posting below this video. So please see and register in that link to come to my community, so that you can get more and more value. Thank you for watching.